Hello everyone, yes, that is right, I am. Indeed, of course, it's your boy, UK's finest Ricky J, bringing you the hottest intakes, bold predictions, and straight up banter from across the pond. Welcome to the bell never stops ringing. Welcome to the People's Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you share, like, subscribe. We very quickly do this. And I'm not alone today. Somebody hot tag in the man himself. It is Nick from the Forbidden Podcast. Here we go, guys.
What is up, everybody? You heard that correctly. Forbidden Podcast.
And how are you this morning, Nick? How are you this morning?
I am doing very well myself, Ricky. It is a pleasure to be on here, making my debut officially on the People's Wrestling Podcast. We got so much to talk about. And yes, one half of the Forbidden Podcast, other half being Adam Carl, who is not here today, here in the show, obviously, but definitely in the chat. But I am here, though, also owner of the Furious Nation YouTube channel on YouTube as well. So make sure you subscribe to that. And make sure you also subscribe to Ricky's People's Wrestling Podcast as well. Two nice listens here in the community. Make sure you go check us out. Really nice content. You will not be disappointed. And yeah.
So first of all, sorry about the technical difficulties. They've got the Wheel of Death going on.
Wheel of Death, that dreaded Wheel of Death, huh?
That is Nick's podcast. So the Forbidden Podcast. Do go and check it out, guys. And if you want to follow him on Twitter, X, call it what the hell you like. There it is. So you can follow him on X or Twitter.
Yeah. Fioranic579 on X.
But yes, I will promote that again at the end. And then once again, sorry for any technical difficulties. I don't know why the weather's not too bad here, but there we are. So yeah, give me 1 second. We'll crack on with the first segment here, which of course is where are we?
It's cooking at the table. I like it.
What's cooking at the table? So very quickly, I'll go over what I've been up to. Really, what I read the scripts again, Ricky.
Oh.
Oh, sick.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about this, guys. Sorry about this technical difficulties. Not sure why, but sorry about this, guys. Sorry about this. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. My apologies.
Oh, boy. Apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's the technical difficulties on Ricky's ends, and apologize for that. What the heck? Uh-oh. And I don't know what happened to Ricky's connection his end. No worries, guys. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if maybe Tony Khan has
Right,
to
so
there we go.
I think I've sorted it. Hopefully, I'll get this out quick. So what do I been up to? More of the same. Heading to the gym. I go to a craft class every week, and I coloured in this week. If you guys can see, so that's what I've been up to. And I've got more of the same coming up. Yeah. So Nick, what have you been up to? What have you got coming up?
Well, what have I got coming up? Well, I have quite some things now going into the summer. One of them, I mean, yeah, unfortunately laid off a week ago looking for a new job, so doing that. But also a 30th birthday coming up this middle of August as well. Yes, you heard that correctly, turning 30 in primal years. So I don't like the feeling of getting old, but it's a nice thing to celebrate. And also going to at least one wrestling show this summer. It's not a WWE show. It's an ACW show, Awesome Championship Wrestling, based off Poughkeepsie, New York, in upstate New York. It is Saturday night, July the 17th of 2026. It's 2 weeks after 4th of July. It's at the MJN Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. I will be there front row. And shout out to the guy who owns the company. It's been over, it's a year and a half old. Doing really good stuff. And shout out to this guy who owns the company, who is a wrestler, and I've known him for 15 years. Hale Collins' real name is Dale. Shout out to him. I will be there front row for that show on July the 18th. So excited for that.
So yeah, guys, go and check out what's it coming at ACW. Did you say?
Awesome Championship Wrestling, ACW. Go give them a follow on X. Go give Hale Collins a follow and Vic Delicious a follow on X. They would greatly, I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. Go follow them on X, and more fans in there, the better. Go follow them, man. Great dudes.
So that's July 17th, or did you say? Or the 18th?
July 18th. Saturday night, July 18th.
And then later that night, Saturday night's main event, another one. But yeah, so you're turning 30. That makes me feel old. I'm nearly 40, but there we are.
Doesn't matter the number though. It should be celebrated though, in my opinion. So,
as I said, for me, before we came live, 26 years of watching wrestling, so a long time. So I remember when wrestling used to be good, a lot better than it is today. But
well, I mean, I've been watching for this September coming in 19 years. So it's going to be next year. It's going to be 20 years. In fact, it was September 2007. I've watched WWE and pro wrestling as a whole. Since then, I've watched ever since. I've not stopped watching once. I've watched ever since, believe it or not. It was a couple months. I mean, yeah, it was a couple months after the unfortunate Chris Benoit double murder suicide incident in June 2007. But I mean, 3 months after the tragedy. But I think, in my opinion, probably the best time to get into it and watch it, because June of 2007, obviously with the Benoit tragedy where he killed his family before himself, and then they had, like, you know, people were getting tested for drugs in the wellness policy with the steroids. People were getting suspended a lot, getting caught suspended, and then I think they were just putting wrestlers' health first, whereas before that they weren't. Now that's like now the priority is to protect the athlete, make sure they're okay and they're safe, so they're not dying young and they're not killing themselves like what Benoit did. So that was like 3 months after the tragedy. I actually started watching as a whole, and honestly, probably the best time to be watching at the time, because I think at that time people were just like, the wrestlers weren't like going out there and killing themselves like they used to. Now they're just protecting the athletes and stuff like that. So that's just how I felt about that personally.
Yeah, definitely. A lot more protected. Yeah.
In the head, they don't do those anymore and stuff.
I do see a number of people watching, so don't hesitate to drop a comment, a question for me or Nick. Like, share, subscribe, do all those cool things, all those good things. And I will be live soon. SmackDown in Italy, another 3-hour SmackDown. Hopefully, it'll be a hot crowd.
Lord help us all, Ricky. I cannot wait for that show to go back to 2 hours. It won't save the show, but I'd much rather 2 hours than 3 hours, honestly.
as I said before we went live, 26 years of watching wrestling, I should not be, and I've said this to Mitch, said this to many people, I should not be saying, yes, mate, SmackDown 2 hours. I should be saying, make it 4, make it 5, give me more and more and more and more and more. Never, I want it to never end. I do want it to end. A 5 hours SmackDown will be hell, but more wrestling, not less. But with that, we'll move on to the next segment. We've got a comment coming through here, and it is.
I think we've got
is someone trying to come out there? Oh, it isn't. Is it? Oh, okay, it was Mitch. I thought it was someone trying to promote their podcast, their Twitch. So, hi guys, love you both working together. Question: what's your favorite favorite part about Hardcore Sports Network? Which is the wrestling, of course. What's your favorite part, Nick?
My favorite part. Sorry about that, little dry throat. But my favorite part about being a part of the Hardcore Sports Network is that everyone is, everyone works together and everyone is like a team and leadership, and everyone is for each other, and we can express ourselves, and everyone's there for each other and doing what we share a great bond in common, what we like to talk about, whether it's wrestling, other sports, etc., etc. I think it's a great thing when there, and to have that in the community and everyone, it feels like a family to me.
And even though I don't watch other than wrestling, I think it's cool that they've got other sports, covering other sports on here: basketball, baseball, football, or I call it American football, NASCAR. So that's cool. I don't watch anything else but wrestling, but that is cool. So,
so shout out to Mitch too.
And I see some numbers coming in again. Those numbers are racking up. So guys, just like Mitch, I'll get a question in, get a comment in. Let me and Nick here. Jesus Christ, this microphone's broken. Let me and Mitch hear you. No, it's not really broken. It's just my script. But to the next segment, which is all about the Hollywood, is all about the red carpet, because it is.
There we go.
That is right, movie talk. So it's only been one movie I've watched since last week, and that movie is the animated version of. If it shows it, come on. Animal. I will sit and watch anything. Animal Farm, decent movie. It was okay. I'll say a B- for it. So yeah, that's all I've watched this week. Do you watch movies, Mitch? Not Mitch. Sorry, not Mitch at all. Nick. Sorry, Nick. Yeah. Not Mitch. Yeah. Nick. Well, Mitch can answer as well. Does he watch movies? But Nick, do you watch movies?
I do watch movies. I may not like watch them all the time, but I do watch some. Whenever it's like some free time, I watch like on Netflix or save to my phone or YouTube or what have you. So whenever I usually have free time, I do watch some movies. If I had to choose which one I've been watching a lot recently, it's actually coming up this December, and in fact, it's my favorite movie of all time, Night at the Museum.
Yeah, very, very good movie. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Almost 20 years ago. Now it's almost 20 years old. Came out in 2006.
Wow.
A lot of good movies in 06, honestly. I think 06 to me is probably one of their best years in filming, in my opinion. Whether it's animated or live action, in my opinion.
I think I remember the first one coming out. Damn, that ages me. That makes me feel super old. First one, great film. Second one, good. Third, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched all three of them. I mean, the three one was okay. It wasn't better. I feel like first one was good. Second one was really good, in my opinion. But the third one was decent. It wasn't great, wasn't terrible. But
Are you
now,
looking forward
go
to a
ahead.
new scary movie? I know that's been rated quite badly, but are you a scary movie fan or no?
Not much. Not much in my opinion. Just I don't know if it's okay to say that, but I don't know. Maybe I know some people like horror movies, some are big fanatics into like Chucky or what have you, but I'm not one of them though, unfortunately.
No, I mean the spoof film, scary movie that spoofs all the horror films.
Oh no, I'm not into that.
Okay, fair enough. It looks okay. I'll watch it, but
They're coming up with actual Toy Story 5. They're actually coming up with Toy Story 5, believe it or not, on June 19th.
They made too many of those. First one, great film. Great. Probably my childhood Toy Story. Second one, good. Third, okay. Fourth, eek. And now 5.
I've only seen the first 3. I've not seen the 4th, but I'm not holding out much hope for the 5th. I feel like sometimes when they make movies, when you make more than one sequel, like when you make more than 2 or 3 sequels, like they should stop after that. To make more after that, you're really devaluing the quality of that entire sequence of that made movie as a whole. It just doesn't feel special anymore, in my opinion. I feel like just okay, if you're gonna do one, great, but if a second or third sequel, fine. But second, I think is a sweet. Third, all right, but more than that, I think that's like way too much.
Yeah, definitely. Movie nowadays are either sequels, remakes, or CGI. Is there anything original nowadays? Not much.
Those Disney remakes. I seen the Lion King remake 2019. It was not good. It was terrible.
They added the live action one.
Yeah, live action. Yeah, it was not a good movie. I'll be very honest. That was not good.
They added parts that weren't in the animated one. It's like, what?
Yeah, like what am I watching here?
I don't remember it because it was trash. Not trash. Yes, it was trash. Yes, it was. Let's be honest, it was trash. But I've only seen it once, and once is enough. But yeah, the added parts were like this didn't happen in the animated version.
Yeah, like dude, the Mufasa Lion King movie at the end of 2024 was much better than that Lion King remake in 2019. Much better.
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't see the Mufasa Lion King animated version back in the 90s. We didn't see that. That's why it was better.
Yeah. And the live action only really works with certain. Have they ever made a good Aladdin? Trash. Jungle Book? Trash.
Mulan? Trash.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch was not that good.
It was it was okay, but yeah.
The Beauty and the Beast one.
That was good.
And that was 2017. I will admit that was probably their only good one.
And one I'm definitely looking forward to, of course, is Moana.
Moana with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, my favorite. I know you're not too keen on The Rock, but for me, all-time favorite wrestler. And for me, I personally enjoy his movies. So I know people don't, and people say he's a bad actor, which he probably is.
Well, I want to talk about Black Adam that bombed so bad. It bombed, dude, miserably.
But when he needs to act, I think he can. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not The Rock. I'm not getting paid $50 million per movie. But if I was getting paid $50 million, I wouldn't bother acting if I didn't need to do.
Right. You can make shitty movies you can make the shittiest of movies, but still make a lot of money. that's the thing about if you're an actor working in the film industry, you can make the shittiest, I mean, and then just horrible like movies, but you'd still make money off of it. I mean, that's just, I mean, guess that's the film industry as it is, but it is what it is with that.
Yeah. Why would I step up my acting game when I don't need to do?
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, I got a film degree in 2-year degree in film in a film degree in college. So what I've learned, it's like, you know, it's like with the lighting and camera panning and stuff like that. But it's like you make a great movie, it's even better. But if it's like not that good, listen, either way, you're gonna make your money.
If I could afford a $3 million watch, was it more than that? Was it $3.2 million for making crappy movies? Bring it on! Bring it on!
Yeah, anything that's a prized possession, a watch or a mansion house or like a very nice Ferrari car or anything, Lamborghini, anything like suits, or even if you have a balding spot, hair transplant, something like that. No, you got to fly all the way out to Turkey, which is far, and it's expensive for a hair transplant. But yeah, I would. But those trying to fix a bald spot, I would not recommend flying out to Turkey. It's expensive to fly out there, first of all, and second of all, to get a hair transplant from Turkey, really got to like replace it every now and then, and it's a pain in the ass, I've heard. So me dealing with a bald spot myself, and for those dealing with that like I am, I would not recommend that personally.
I'm guessing that's where Cena went to get his done, to Turkey, maybe. I don't know. He went somewhere to get his done.
I don't know. It's somehow where he got his full head of hair back last year. Somehow, who knows? Maybe he did fly out to Turkey, but who knows?
I'm going to play one of my ads here, and I'm going to get into some news, and then so I'm going to play this ad very quickly. So that is right. Poison Tees Goldman's 1, guys. To get your shout outs, Poison Tees Goldman's 1. Summer's coming in eventually. But yes, the news alerts are going off. Let's get into the studio because it is time for come on, hurry up and show. There we go. News and headlines. Now, this news has been broken by Sports Bash. Sports Bash are the same people that said Rey Mysterio was retiring at Clash in Italy, and he didn't. So how true this is, I don't know. It's been reported, so we'll give our opinion on it, and that is this right here. Come on, show it. 1 second. That is the Miz's contract to expire soon. Again, take this for what it is. Sports Bash reported it. May or may not be true. If it is, well, we'll go with if it is. Okay, well, for 2 years he's been beaten for 2 years in singles action, so this wouldn't be a shock. But I would keep them as around. I think like for the Hall of Fame, I don't think he did a bad job hosting the Hall of Fame, so I think you keep him around in a host. Being a host, or maybe even going down to NXT and train those guys. If he does leave WWE, maybe he retires. I don't think he goes to TNA. TNA linked with WWE. AEW, I think he'd probably. I don't think that's his style. And if he does go, he'll be like everybody else, gets a month push, and then just blends in with everybody else. So if this is true again, take it guys for what it is. They've got coming through, I think. Unless it's someone else trying to promote their Twitch. Hi mates, with Gregor saying hello to you, Gregor. So I think he does retire. Maybe he goes into movies, possibly, perhaps. But if this is true, retirement. What's your thoughts on if this is true? What do you think, Nick?
I think with The Miz, he's been there since 2006. He's been there for 20 years. And for him being that long because of that, I do think now in wrestling these days, it doesn't mean much in wrestling these days being a lifer. But I feel like The Miz is one of those guys that is a WWE lifer. Even if it's true his contract is expiring this summer, honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere. He definitely does not fit AEW in their style. And like you said, even if Tony Khan brings him in, he'll treat him like a shiny new toy for like 3-4 weeks, and then he'll put him away in the toy chest to have him collect dust for like 24 to 48 weeks to then remember he's got him and use him when he wants. And I don't think The Miz is that dumb. And he wouldn't fit AEW style anyway. You just get lost in the shuffle, feel like everyone else. TNA maybe, but then again, they also have the partnership. But I don't think he's on bad terms with him. He's been there for 20 years. He's done everything. The guy's a future ballot Hall of Famer, absolutely. So I don't think he leaves or goes anywhere. He could, if he does leave to go to Hollywood, I could see that full time. But maybe also sign in a Legends deal or ambassador role with the WWE. He is around. He's in his 40s right now. He's not getting any older, and he's done everything. There's nothing left for him to do. And as a wrestler, he's kind of past his expiration date. I will say if he intends to retire in the future, I think The Miz would fit perfect, in my view, as a commentator. I mean, Michael Cole is great at what he does, though he's not going to be around forever. Corey Graves knows this shit, one of the best commentators today, and a great dude. I've met him personally at a Northeast Wrestling show in the Dutchess County near Poughkeepsie, New York, almost in 2018. He's told me the history of WWF in Poughkeepsie, where Andre the Giant wrestled, and Randy Savage made his debut at the Civic Center, Poughkeepsie, New York, there, as well as Ms. Elizabeth. So Corey Graves knows his stuff, one of the best commentators they got. Joe Tessitore is great. Wade Barrett is awesome. He's very, very good as a commentator. I will say with Vic Joseph down in NXT along with Booker T, Vic Joseph is not that good. I would get rid of Vic Joseph and maybe have a backstage interviewer, have him be that kind of role, a backstage interviewer. Booker T, a great trainer. Maybe he could be a trainer at the Performance Center for NXT or maybe work with Evolve. But, I mean, he's not – I've seen much worse commentators like JBL. But Booker T, his commentary is not his best suit in my view. So if Miz wants to retire – so if Miz – in the future intends to retire, I would love to see The Miz on commentary. In fact, I think it would probably be a breath of fresh air because The Miz is one of those guys, may not be the best ring general, but when it comes to promos, he nails it perfect and gets it. Like, the guy is a very good talker, always has been, and knows how to get the job done in terms of like selling a product is concerned. So I would love to see Miz as a commentator when he retires. But as far as if his contract is up this summer or not, even if if it is, I think he stays. But I don't think he's going anywhere. If he does, maybe Hollywood sign a Legends deal. But if he retires soon, I think he transitions from a wrestler to commentator. But I think he's a lifer. I don't think he goes anywhere.
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, was it Main Event? For those that do watch I watch Main Event. I'll zoom through Main Event quickly. So I've got coming through here. I'll read that first, and then did you guys watch AAA over the weekend? Yes, we did. I did. We're going to get to that in a second. We'll go over the wrestling roundup. Yeah, very good show. Main Event was really good. We'll get to that in a second, Gregor. And Gregor, get your thoughts on if The Miz does retire, where he ends up. But yes, I do watch. I watch Main Event, but I'll zoom through it. Just get to the results. I think he did commentary on there years ago. He wasn't a bad commentator. But very quickly back to AEW. I agree with you. He would just, here comes the Miz. He's not going to go and beat MJF. Where do you put them? Miz, the Miz. Okay, he's lost for 2 years, and that's ridiculous. But is the Miz going to go to be TNT champion? Probably not.
No way.
So, like, he's lost for 2 years. Like, that's awful. A 2-year loss. So beating him now means nothing. But he's still a former 2-time WWE champion, Intercontinental champion, US champion, etc., etc. He's not going to go after the TNT title held by Kevin Knight or Takeshita's title or anything like that. So if he is done in the ring, I'd keep him around. Okay, so he did something on Raw, I think it was, or it might have been Clash in Italy. He presented Scary Movie, and I thought, that fits him. That's what I play do with him if he's done in the ring. Miz can help the NXT talent like AJ Styles is doing now. Speaking of AJ Styles, now I can see Gunter the Miz being the match for SummerSlam and Gunter retires the Miz. Not that it would mean anything, retiring the Miz, who cares? But I see that happening, and that's Gunter's match. Probably, maybe, if Miz is done. Hey, I hope that's not what it is. I hope the Miz isn't retired. But
that's beneath Gunther, dude. That should not. I hope to God that does not happen. That should not even be an idea in the creative.
This is WWE we're talking about. I've probably just given them an idea. Hopefully not. Hopefully,
maybe it's a idea of Michael Hayes or Bruce Pritchard in the back.
They'll give Miz a couple of big wins here and there, or a few wins, building back up. He turns face. Here comes Gunther to retire him. Retire him. Well, whoopee do. Who cares?
Yeah,
that's what I can see happening. I can see that being the match. Probably SummerSlam. If this is all true and he is retiring, his contract is done. But I hope not. But I'm going to play another quick ad. I don't know, I've just played when I play another. I'm going to get into some AAA talk, Clash in Italy and all of that. But let me go ahead and play this first. Well, that is right. Like, share, subscribe. God damn it. StreamYard's screwing up for me. Ugh. There we are, I think. Okay, I've got another coming through. I think this might be Gregor or somebody else, maybe. We'll see in a second. WWE needs better creative. Yes. On the main roster, Raw, SmackDown, definitely, yes.
I would say SmackDown. Like definitely SmackDown for sure. I think more so SmackDown in my opinion because it's so bad. You get rid of like Bruce Pritchard would definitely help because he's stuck in the Vince ways and he's nothing but Vince 2.0. And as long as he's there in any which way, nothing will change. Even though Triple H is head of creative and he gives the yes or no. Yeah, he's head of creative and it's on him. But you got Vince rats like Bruce Pritchard still there. And as long as they're still there, nothing is going to change. And get like fresh minds like Undertaker, who's doing Triple H, who's doing a fantastic job. You know, maybe get someone like a AJ Styles on there, you know, something like that. I think, and even another thing, when, you know, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are top guys like them, Seth Rollins, they're not going to wrestle forever. You know, when they start to retire, I could absolutely see CM Punk like run NXT, maybe Shawn Michaels help SmackDown, or maybe like when Cody Rhodes, I think it's his last contract, I could see him maybe have some influence, or maybe, who knows, maybe run creative with Seth, or Bailey have a say, Becky have a say. I could absolutely see them, when Triple H can't physically do it anymore and can't keep up anymore. I like to see Cody and Punk, at least Punk run NXT, and Cody, Seth, Roman Orton maybe run like SmackDown with Bailey, Becky. They have a say on the main roster and get some fresh minds in there.
I think, and again, I know you're not too keen on him, but if he wasn't so busy, I think The Rock would be there doing creative. If Triple H wouldn't even be there, the only reason The Rock isn't there is because of his schedule. So if The Rock wasn't so busy, bye Triple H, or bring in Brian Gerwitz maybe, or so he's still The Rock's influence. So
yeah. I have a lot to say about Brian Gerwitz. I've heard he's not that good, and I don't know. I have a feeling even if he were to come and replace Triple H, even if that was the case, I cannot see Gerwitz last that long, honestly, because with TKO and Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro, I feel like they don't blame themselves like Vince McMahon never blamed themselves. I think if they bring Gerwitz in, they're going to use him as a scapegoat. Whereas Cody and Punk, Gerwitz, I don't think really argues, but guys like CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, they're not going to just go along with stuff. They're just going to combat and argue. Undertaker for sure would clash heads and butt heads if things don't feel right. Like, he's not just going to go along with it. And I feel like they'd respect guys like Undertaker, Cody, and Punk more than they do Triple H, in my opinion. Because I don't think they respect Hunter whatsoever. Those suits and ties of TKO.
Definitely, no. They respect the... Okay, how do I say this? How much control does Triple H really have? He just there. I would love to know. I would love to be a fly on the wall, and in those meetings, how much is it Triple H? Does Triple H come up with Reigns should beat Jacob Fatu and that's it, and Triple H gets that final say, or is it Paul Heyman saying, well, maybe Reigns should win, and Michael Hayes saying, I agree, and it's a joint decision? Is it Ari Emanuel giving Triple H a call saying, no, Reigns must beat Jacob Fatu? Just for an example. I would love to know that. WWE Unreal only gives us a certain look. It doesn't give you a full look. They're showing you what they want to show you. Again, I would love to know those phone calls that we're never going to find out how those phone calls work. Ari Emanuel saying, no, Triple H, get rid of the New Day, get rid of whoever, do this, do that. And Triple H is saying, okay, I will do. What can he say? He's not the boss.
Well, I mean, Ari and Shapiro don't know who the hell an Apollo Crews is, or Aleister Black, or Alba Fire, or Wyatt Six is, or a New Day is, and they don't know who they are. They don't even watch their own product as Ari Emanuel and Mark Shapiro, and I feel like it's just like, and I heard a rumor that, I don't know how true it is. It wouldn't surprise me if it is. Ari Emanuel really likes the bloodline, and I think that's why he wants Roman as champion, and what you're seeing with the rehashed bloodline now. I do feel like TKO is in charge of creative, but they rarely have hands on. They let Triple H do his thing, but there's sometimes like WrestleMania, where they insert celebrities like Pat McAfee, as we saw, which was so bad. One of the worst things I've seen in the near 20 years I've watched wrestling. And even with this bloodline, some aspects, not a lot, not the whole or a lot of them, but there's some you see where I feel like if there was no TKO or Endeavor involved, and it was just an independent company, and you had Triple H and you had Stephanie McMahon, just them running the company, I do feel like the company would not be so corporate and soulless and safe as it is now. Everything just feels so safe. There's no excitement, no risks, and the company didn't need to be sold to Endeavor, and yet there are people that want Vince McMahon back, and yet he's the guy, and he's the reason why the WWE is in the mess that they're in currently, when Vince sold the company to Endeavor and sold it to his friend Ari, because Vince wanted to reclaim the power he lost 4 years ago via the Wall Street Journal. And that's the only reason Vince sold the company. And now they're in this merger lawsuit that's supposed to go to trial June 8th, saying that the shareholders, with the shareholders saying that Vince benefited himself and the shareholders when he sold the company because he wanted to reclaim ultimate power. And Ari Emanuel will be the only one dumb enough to keep him in charge and give him back power, when other places like Comcast or Disney and Fox would require Vince's permanent exit. And Ari would be the only one stupid enough to keep Vince in charge.
And look what's happening now. I know you covered on the on your so guys.
Adam and I've been following it the past 2 episodes, man. Definitely go check that out. We talk about it, and with it going to trial June 8th, we're definitely going to be on that, and for sure that will be on the next episode. I can assure you, for episode 28, I think it is, for next week, or 27, 28. But yeah,
I think Travis Scott beats at least Pat McAfee got heat. At least he can talk. At least he's a good talker. At least. Yeah. Okay, he looked stupid in carrying the title like he was the champion. He was challenging Cody. That looked stupid. But at least he got heat. At least he can talk. Travis Scott was awful. He did nothing. He came out with a replica, made-up hardcore title and walked down to the ring and distracted Cody, and he did nothing.
That's all you heard. I'm like,
and they were fully expecting The Rock. They were expecting, here comes Travis Scott, now here comes The Rock. So
Rock couldn't even be.
I think last year was totally awful.
I'm sorry to cut you off there once or twice, Ricky, but I apologize on that. But yeah, Rock couldn't even be bothered to show up for his own story last year when he wanted Cody's soul, and then John Cena sold his soul to The Rock, and that was Rock's story. He couldn't even be bothered to show up for that. And he had Travis Scott, in which tainted John Cena's last ever WrestleMania match. It was so bad.
Yeah, just ugh. But let's get to the final segment here. I'd like to talk about Gregor, if you're still here, Triple A, Clash in Italy. We're going to get to it now with that is right. Wrestling Roundup. So AEW Dynamite I don't watch. The results boring for me. Nothing to talk about. Do you agree, Nick, or or no?
Well, we did have Mercedes Moné come back on Wednesday Dynamite, and she ended up being the wild card in the women's Owen. She advanced, and I think she's gonna win the women's Owen and get Thekla or whoever the women's champion is at All In at Wembley. And I think Mercedes wins the women's championship. They had her drop every other belt for a reason. I have a feeling they're going to have her win the women's title in Wembley Stadium and All In this August. But that was pretty much about it. And then Kevin Knight, who turned heel at Double or Nothing. He's in the Don Callis family with the more 180 members of the Don Callis family, as if the Don Callis family can't get any more members of the family, of the group. It's ridiculous. You could build a whole show with that group.
And it wasn't your podcast. I said it on Scripps, who does Scripps, who does a Dynamite and AEW stream. I said it on his. No one's benefited from being in the Don Callis family. No one gets pushed. It does nothing. No one gets more heat. It's just another member. Probably the worst faction maybe ever in wrestling. Now, Script said, what about the Vision? Theory's been pushed for the Vision. No, it's not their fault, so they're riddled with injuries and cursed. But Theory's been pushed. No one's been pushed in the Don Callis family.
No, it's just like when you're in the Don Callis family, it's the literal kiss of death. I mean, granted, Andrade's doing okay, but he doesn't need the Don Callis family. What I would have done with Andrade back in AEW, have him be on his own, but give him a mouthpiece. I think with Zelina Vega were released, and if she's going to be a free agent come the beginning of August, I would absolutely bring her into AEW and pair her back with Andrade, in my opinion. Because I remember they were great together in NXT Black and Gold, especially in 2017. They were great. And then when Vince was in charge in Andrade's first WWE run and he split them up for no reason, and Andrade on his own can't really speak English that well, I think he benefits more with a mouthpiece, but I don't think he needs to be in a faction, and definitely not in the Don Callis family. So if Zelina Vega comes into AEW this summer, I would absolutely bring her in if I'm Tony Khan and pair her with Andrade and get Andrade away from the Don Callis family. I don't think it's doing anything for Andrade whatsoever. In fact, I feel like it's holding him down.
And I've got another comment coming through. 1 second. From Gregor, the AEW pay-per-view was pretty good. Double or Nothing, yes.
Yeah, that was really good.
Every single time when it comes to AEW, and I say this every single show, too long. The pay-per-views are too long, too many matches. I think 8, unless it's WrestleMania. WrestleMania should be the only stacked card, the only loaded card should be WrestleMania, and that is it. Not SummerSlam, not Survivor Series, not even All In. WrestleMania. 8 matches. You have 1 on the pre-show, kickoff show, call it what you like, and 7 on the main card, or even 2 on the pre-show, 6 on the main card, and that's it. And make those 6 matches important. You know, they're not just a match after match after match after match after match after match. Oh God, here comes another one. People want to complain all the time about the ads, and for me, the ads is blending with the show now with WWE. But those ads break up those matches. It's like, oh, it's a solid good match. Digest that match. Here comes an ad. Oh, that was a good match. No, it's not just next. Oh God.
I hated the ads when they were at WrestleMania, and you never see that. And I know the WWE PLEs are with ESPN, and they're charging $30 a month. I think the thing is with AEW and WWE, AEW gives too much and WWE gives too less. I mean, I'd be okay with Triple H giving like 5 matches if it wasn't $30 a month like they were on Peacock and you lower the ticket prices. That would at least justify the 5-match PLE card format. But when you have 5 matches and you're charging $30 a month and the ticket price is sky high, it's like, dude, you got to give more than 5. You got to give like 6 or 7. Unless you lower the damn prices for the tickets and have it not be $30 a month, get like the PLEs for WWE back on Peacock. I watched Saturday Night's Main Event, Ricky. The last Saturday Night's Main Event, I think it was on Memorial Day weekend. They were on Peacock. No ads or commercials, and it felt like WWE weren't so handcuffed by Endeavor, and WWE and their creative was allowed to do what they need to do and allowed them to actually get their stuff and what they want to get in. They weren't handcuffed by Ari and Shapiro saying, oh, you can't do that, can't do this, we got to go to commercial here and there. I feel like they were more, I feel like WWE and their creative was more allowed to be more free on that Saturday Night's Main Event compared to any other WWE PLE on ESPN. I feel WWE signing their PLEs on ESPN was a mistake. And I don't know when their deal is up with ESPN, but when that deal's up, I'd go right back to Peacock. And they should have never left there in the first place, in my honest opinion. I feel like, and I like your idea, like if you're not going to lower the prices anytime soon and have them on ESPN Unlimited, I mean, I would not mind 1 or 2 matches on a PLE, get people excited, but like have it be like more than 5, like 6 matches, 7 matches would be okay with. 8 if WrestleMania, though I could see 8 for each night now that SummerSlam's now 2 nights, but WrestleMania for sure. Survivor Series, you don't need to do too much. I would say like probably 6. I know that the War Games matches take a lot of time, but I would do 6, maybe 2 of the 6 on the pre-show. But for Royal Rumble, I don't think you definitely don't need to stack up the Rumble because you're watching for the Royal Rumble matches. But yeah, if they were to fix the format, that's what I would do. Unless you lower the prices and get them off ESPN, in my opinion.
And coming through, and I've actually forgot a segment which I'll do in a second. But so 2 things. First of all, Gregor saying, yes, 6 to 8 matches max for AEW. Start the show earlier. Definitely, I know a lot of people completely missed the 0 or buy-in pre-show. Call it what the hell you like. Completely missed it, and you're paying for that. Like, okay, the matches weren't that good. The pre-show was skippable anyway, but they missed it. So we do get to that segment I actually forgot, and it's just a quick one where we celebrate wrestlers' birthdays going on today. Very quickly, and I forgot it. I don't know why I forgot it, but I did. Just remembered, and we quickly do that with. So yes, wrestlers' birthdays. And it is birthdays of Kona Reeves, if you remember him from NXT, Simon Dean, and Priscilla Kelly, Gigi Dolan. So happy birthday to all those three. I've done that segment. Now it is Wrestling Roundup. And very quickly, let me get that up. Very quick. Where is it? There it is. And so last week's SmackDown, I'll run through the results and I'll just give my quick opinion. So we had Jade Cargill, Beef that Meechin kick off the show. Rhea, Charlotte, Alexa came out, led to a match. Jade beat Alexa. Action beats The Miz, and MFT beat Damian Priest and Rice Keys. Momentum builder for Jade. As I've said, The Miz 2-year losing streak is ridiculous. And MFTs are getting a push. So any thoughts of those results there, Nick?
You want any more indication why SmackDown's the worst show on TV? There you go. MFTs. My goodness. Like, I mean, you talk about the Don Callis family being the worst faction. They are tied for worst faction. The Don Callis family, I actually say a 4-way tie. The Don Callis family, the Death Riders, the Dogs, and then the MFTs tied for top 4 worst factions in today's wrestling history. Like, and the MFTs are that bad. Like, I think Solo Sikoa is funny and entertaining, but I don't think they're letting him be himself. I don't think he works as a heel enforcer. He can be a funny, entertaining babyface and be a badass babyface, but I don't think he needs to be a heel enforcer, and they're not letting him be him because he can be funny and entertaining, but can be serious as a serious badass, but I don't think as a heel enforcer fits him. Tala Tonga, don't even get me started. Like, where's Omos when you need him? I feel like Tala Tonga is just big and tall, but he's the guy that really has no ceiling and is just a one-trick pony. And I don't care really much what he did in New Japan. New Japan and WWE are two completely different animals. Doesn't matter what you did there. It matters what you do here. And I feel like Tala Tonga in WWE has been an utter bust and waste. And if he was to be let go tomorrow, I don't think it would be a big loss at all. I don't find the guy really good. I don't think he's good at all. And then Tama Tonga is decent, but I think he could be a solid mid-card act. But I think he's being held down in the MFTs, in my opinion. And they released Tonga Loa not long ago. Forget about it. He was a waste. Like, you talk about a waste. And the guy was previously in WWE a decade ago as Camacho. Remember him with Unico, the fake Sin Cara? Yeah, there's a reason Camacho got released in June 2014. You see why. And now he got cut again. No big loss at all. You're not going to lose any ounce of sleep over that with him gone. He was worthless. Jeff Cobb as Jace Mateo. Him in the MFTs was a fail. I'm sorry. The guy did not need to be in the group. He could have been another solid mid-card act on his own and let him be Jeff Cobb. But no. What the fuck do I know, right? But they let him go because the budget cuts, because TKO is $6 billion in debt. Right? Awful.
Ridiculous amount of money to be in debt. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't imagine that amount of being in debt. Damn.
Yep.
Sami Zayn knocked off Matt Cardona. Okay. Carmelo Hayes, Ricky Saints, double count out. Chelsea Green defeats Nia Jax. Cody Rhodes gone to promo. The promo was good. I'll give it that the ending to SmackDown was decent. And for those that didn't watch my SmackDown preview, SmackDown watch along, half thumbs up. I'll award SmackDown, but it like I agree with you. It's not the best. But any thoughts of those matches that I went over?
I feel Matt Cardona and Sami Zayn was decent for what it was. Like Cardona, I wish he was positioned better on SmackDown. Sami Zayn, liking what he's doing. The there was a decent match with Sammy and Cardona. With Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes, I mean, I'm liking what they're doing with the chemistry with those guys. Nice solid acts in the mid card for the U.S. title. I could see down the line maybe a triple threat for the U.S. title with Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes versus Ricky Saints. So I'm liking what they're doing with those guys. Ricky Saints just got started on the main roster. He's not the best start so far. Hopefully, and I know he just started. Hopefully, later on down the line, he can find his footing and get reactions. Right now, he's not getting any, which is not a good sign. I just hope that, he's able to find his footing months from now, maybe. And this is what I would do. I know he's the face of the company next with Roman. I think if you don't want WWE to be safe anymore and take risks and be risky again, no longer safe, and Triple H no longer be safe, I think the best course of action would be to turn this man heel, Cody Rhodes, and maybe Cody form his own faction, like name it like the Cody Club or the Nightmare Factory, the Nightmare Club, like Cody had an AEW with, I think, Dustin Rhodes, and I think with Hook, Taz's son, back in Cody's days in AEW. Have Cody create the Nightmare Faction on SmackDown as a heel faction with Cody Rhodes as a leader. You have Ricky Saints join and maybe put Royce Keys with him. All Royce, Ricky, and Cody all have history in AEW. You have to be like a big faction on SmackDown. That'd be like a big anchor to carry SmackDown long term. If there's something missing on SmackDown and WWE in general, is that big story anchor like the Bloodline. In fact, I think this would be better than the Bloodline. Have a heel Cody Rhodes faction run roughshod on SmackDown with Cody Rhodes, Ricky Saints, and Royce Keys. You want to get Randy Orton involved, have him join the group, I think that would be great as well. And have him just run roughshod on SmackDown. I think that would be something that SmackDown absolutely needs. And if you're going to do Cody and Punk, I'd say that's a WrestleMania-worthy match. I don't know if they do it at SummerSlam or WrestleMania next year, though. It should be on WrestleMania on American soil, not Saudi soil. If they do that ever still at a WrestleMania on American soil or what have you, at WrestleMania in general, I would absolutely, because both men are faces, one of them's going to go heel. Punk is a great heel than a face, but I would like to see Cody Rhodes go heel here. And honestly, he may be better as a heel. He's not a bad face, don't get me wrong. But if I had to choose which one was better, I think heel Cody is better than a face Cody, in my opinion. And that would probably be, and I think that's something, there's anything this company in WWE needs, and on SmackDown especially, is excitement. You want to have Triple H and WWE not be have them be no longer safe. I think that is the best way to go about it. And I know there'd be people, if Cody turns heel, it's because of The Rock. No, it wouldn't be. Rock is not even there. Can't even show up or be committed. So no, it wouldn't be because of Rock. I would be all for a heel Cody. In fact, I think it'd be a big breath of fresh air that the company also needs.
And Gregor coming in with Matt Cardona should be better. He should, but he's probably happy making WWE money and working with his wife. So,
or why not have him be a heel? Have him join a heel Cody faction on SmackDown. Have him with Cody.
Also, Gregor saying change things up. I agree. Once again, Gregor, thank you for the comments. But we'll get into what you were talking about, Gregor. Triple A, not just De La Grande. So Rey Fenix took the Triple A Cruiserweight title from Laredo Kid. I'll do two matches in 2 matches. El Hijo beat Dr. Wagner Jr. for the Latin Championship. Both good matches. I think Rey Fenix works way better in Triple A than he does on SmackDown. And I think Vikingo, good heel. He's getting booze. He might as well go heel anywhere. Yeah. What are your thoughts on these 2 matches, Nick?
Rey Fenix and Laredo Kid was a banger and may have actually stole the show on Saturday, May 30th with AAA. If Rey Fenix is not even given the chance to see what he can do on SmackDown. If the SmackDown creative team was just overhauled and just if you just actually change SmackDown's creative team, give it a complete overall clean house and make it better. And if you put Rey Fenix on SmackDown, give him the fair opportunity, he can really shine like he did here at AAA May 30th. Like, this is what we saw Ray Phoenix on May 30th, AAA, should be the Ray Phoenix we're seeing on SmackDown. Like, he's not even given the fair chance or opportunity. If we just let him be on SmackDown what he was in AAA May 30th, he would go a very long way on SmackDown, and it would give SmackDown another star that they would give SmackDown another star that people can tune into. Then that's something SmackDown also needs, because they don't really have much going for them. Yes, they added Gunther and they added Finn Balor, but that's not going to be enough. They need a lot more. But if you just let Ray Phoenix, like how he was in AAA May 30th, let him be that on SmackDown, I think it has a very good chance of succeeding if you just give him the fair chance and give him some decent stuff to work with. And, just build him up, give him some wins, give him a story, and you'll do good.
And very quickly, Gregor coming in with Raw Dog left SmackDown. Wonder why? Was it creative differences? Yes, I think it was. I don't know if you watch Unreal, Gregor, but I think you could tell he was dejected. You could tell that he was kind of his ideas were shot down. He was coming up with these ideas, and Triple H said, "Yeah, there's way too much wrestling to remember." But I think he come up with Chelsea Green or something, winning back the women's US title, or going or being. I don't know what it. Well, okay. I don't think he likes Raw Truth getting released. I don't think he likes that. But also, didn't he not say Chelsea Green should win the USB higher up? And then Triple H said, "Yeah, but who's she going to feud with or something?" I think that was the quote. I don't know. But Nick, your thoughts on Vikingo winning the Latin Championship?
Vikingo winning a Latin Championship, I think it's a good move. He's a good heel. He's great at what he does. I think he's killing it with what he's doing. And yes, Omos is with him. But besides the point, I think it was also another good match. All matches were good. I don't think Vikingo was better than the Laredo Kid and Ray Phoenix match. It was still a very good match, though, nonetheless. I think it's a good move that Vikingo won here. I think it's a nice heel to hold the championship for a while, but then drop it to a babyface to somebody else. And Vikingo was one of the best luchadors that I got today. But I like the move. I don't hate the move at all, and it was a good match, and I think that was just the right decision as well. Then you bring up Chelsea Green as well. That was Road Dogg wanted to put the women's US title back on Chelsea, but Triple H should make a good point. Who was there for her to face? She runs to the same opponents, and she did, like Zelina Vega, Michin. I mean, she would run to the same opponents, but then it's like with the R-Truth thing, it's like Road Dogg thought it was the right decision to let him go or something like that. But I don't know. Again, you got Bruce Pritchard there, Michael Hayes, who I've heard sees nothing much in Chelsea Green. That's a problem. Where Undertaker does see a lot in Chelsea Green. And she can be something if you let her be herself on SmackDown as well, instead of this goofy commentator. I mean, this goofy comedy act that's not her.
You also had the War Raiders taking tag team titles off Pagano and Taco Clown. This was a good match. The War Raiders, they got killed by Femi the night after Raw, but in AAA they work, and of course a match. AAA is an awesome show. Yes, not just Della Grande this week one was. And then, of course, a match that everybody's talking about that went half an hour, and I didn't realize that. It didn't feel like half an hour watching it. But El Grande Americano defeats original El Grande Americano, mask versus mask. Good match. Great storytelling. For me, this was match of the week last week. Thumbs up. Great show. Your thoughts on War Raiders winning the tag titles and the main event?
War Raiders winning the tag titles, I was very surprised by, but I'm actually glad they won, and I'm very happy that they won the AAA World Tag Team titles here. I'm honestly surprised the War Raiders, with the budget cuts back a few months ago in April this year, I'm surprised the War Raiders did not get released, and they're still in this company. And you know what? I didn't expect them to win here, but you know what? I'm glad I was wrong, and I think it's the correct move, and I could not be more happy for both Eric and Ivar of the War Raiders, because they're a very good team, and they could really add a lot to the Raw tag division. But They haven't been seen in quite some time, and they could absolutely add some element to the Raw and some value to the Raw tag division, which right now has nothing going for them. They have the Vision, the Cursed Faction, holding the titles hostage. They haven't defended them much. You got the Usos doing the Bloodline rehash crap. You got the Street Profits, but that's really about it. The Creed brothers could absolutely be inserted in there, give that Raw tag division life, but they're not doing much of them as far as right now goes. Hopefully they're back on TV soon now that Chad Gable is unmasked from the Americano stuff. But we'll see what happens on that. But I'm very happy for the War Raiders here. I'm surprised they won, but I'm not mad whatsoever they won. And this was very good. And the thing is, like with AAA letting wrestlers be themselves, like I know AAA just handcuffed, and I know I'm not defending with him playing it safe the past year or so, but I feel like with the unfortunate TKO suits and ties he has to answer to, if he didn't have that, I think it'd be a lot different than what it is today. But with the War Raiders, I felt like they were more free on AAA May 30th. And you just let them be like that on Raw, put them back on Raw in a meaningful way, and they'll go really well. And they'll do well for themselves. And I figured they'd be caught April, but they weren't. I'm honestly shocked they still have a job, like I said.
Your thoughts on the main event of Noches de la Grandes week 1?
Americano versus Americano. What started out as a goofy, cheesy gimmick, the El Grande Americano, and it easily AI generated idea. But this is one of those AI generated ideas that actually worked. But started off as a cheesy, goofy ass gimmick. And now it turned, like, basically Undertaker turned this chicken shit into a delicious chicken salad, if you know what I'm saying. And look how over it's got, especially Ludwig Kaiser. Now, originally, this was Chad Gable's gimmick. And I do believe, I don't know if you believe this or not. I think last year's SummerSlam in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which I was at both nights, by the way, I do believe one of the matches on the card was going to be Chad Gable's El Grande Americano versus Penta, who were feuding with each other at the time in a mask versus mask match where Penta would win and Gable would unmask and Chad Gable would be Chad Gable again. But then Chad Gable went down with a shoulder injury. Then Ludwig Kaiser came in and took the gimmick, and he was a background player, wasn't even supposed to have the gimmick. And I don't wish injury on anybody in this, and it sucks that Gable got injured. But man, this was a blessing, honestly, for Ludwig Kaiser. If Gable didn't go, imagine if Gable didn't get injured. I don't think Kaiser would be in the company. He'd probably be released. He'd probably not be in the company. He'd probably be released along with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. But with Gable going down with the injury and Ludwig Kaiser and Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate taking the gimmick with the Los Americanos stuff, it's like, look at Kaiser now. He's over his fucking AAA, and I'm loving what he's doing with this Americano stuff. And I could not be more happier for Ludwig Kaiser, and as well as Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, especially Ludwig Kaiser. And even with the arrest recently, it still didn't stop him. Still over. And this, honestly, Ricky, the Kaiser Americano versus Gable Americano, this is absolutely, no questions asked, going up as match of the year candidate for when the year-end award show happens on Furious Nation at the end of the year. This match is absolutely going up there. It may even win match of the year this year. It's not even a WWE match. It's a AAA match. Though WWE and AAA are working together, and that's saying something. But this was a banger. The story, the emotion, it just got you, getting you to care. The video packages that come a long way was in this as well. Like there was blood with like both guys trying to rip each other. Both guys were trying to rip off each other's masks before the match was even a pinfall or submission over. And then like you see the blood, it was great. And then like just the crowd being so invested and the false finishes, and then Kaiser winning and Gable unmasking. He was all bloody. You have his family there. Chad Gable giving the respect to the luchadors and the lucha tradition, and to Kaiser Americano saying, you know, I'm passing the torch to you, and Chad Gable is back, and yada, yada, yada. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. And shout out to everybody, including Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, who put the effort into this banger show. I'm loving what Undertaker is doing in AAA. He may even go down as Booker of the Year this year, and I'm not even joking.
Definitely agree with all of that. So let's get into Clash in Italy. And I'll try and not fall asleep saying this first match, but excuse me, Cody Rhodes beat Gunther, still undisputed WWE champion. Rhea Ripley return against Jade Cargill. Cody bores me like nobody else, but this was a good match. I will say it was a good match. I'm not sure if it was a botch at the end. People are saying it was. People are saying it wasn't. People are saying this is going to lead to another match at Night of Champions, maybe even SummerSlam. And Jade, Rhea, good match. Yeah. What your thoughts of the first two matches?
Cody and Gunther, I thought was good. I hated the finish. I think Gunther should have honestly won. Cody Rhodes, I like Cody Rhodes. There's no hate or disrespect towards him. He's the face of the company, or a face of the company guy, but he doesn't need to be the champion to show it or prove that, because he already has shown and proven it. And I feel like it's an issue with today's main roster shows, Raw and SmackDown, with Cody holding the WWE title, Roman holding the world title. Cody, Roman are face of the company guys. Do they need to hold the world titles to show it? No, they don't. In fact, I feel like with them as world champions, just holding the company down, that's why the product is feeling like it is now, in my opinion. And I feel like the title definitely needs to come off Roman, and absolutely with Cody. And Cody could use a break from the WWE title picture for a while. I feel like with Gunther as champion, yes, he's a two-time world champion, but you know what? With Gunther, it's something fresh. It's not Cody. I mean, look at Drew McIntyre when he was champion at the beginning of the year. Look how better SmackDown was when Drew was pretty much champion. You know, it presented something different. You know, Cody wasn't much in the title picture, and I thought it was a lot better and a little bit fresh and exciting. But with Gunther, it's like he should have won. It would have been presented something different, something fresh. And Gunther also is like one of those guys that it's like you give him anything, especially a WWE title to work with, he would make it work. And Gunther's a two-time world champion, but never been WWE champion. I feel like you could do more with Gunther as WWE champion on SmackDown than Cody Rhodes on SmackDown as WWE champion. Like there's Finn Balor, who's officially traded to SmackDown. There's Randy Orton. There is Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. I think I'm missing somebody else. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk whenever he comes back. And I think he should go to SmackDown. He's back, and his presence absolutely missed. No missing somebody else. Kevin Owens, if he ever gets cleared, I feel like and obviously I think that's when it kind of went down, in my opinion. Last year, the beginning of last year, early last year, when Owens went down with injury, and there's him as well if he ever gets cleared. Again, there's more to do with Gunther on SmackDown as champion than Cody as champion. Cody could honestly use a break for a while. Even if he goes into Mania next year as champion, have him have a break for a while was the champion. But Gunther should have won. I think they're doing the match again in Saudi at Night of Champions. I'm hoping and praying Gunther wins there. If he doesn't, we got a problem. Honestly, dude. And then Jade and Rhea, I thought was good. Not better than their WrestleMania match, but still a decent match. And the right woman went over.
And Gregor coming in saying, good show, but nothing great. And he gives Clash in Italy a 7. Also, the next two matches was Brock Lesnar.
Oh.
Going over Femi. Sol Ruka, your new Intercontinental champion. Not shot that Brock won and leading to a third match. Now that's next month at Night of Champions or SummerSlam. I would personally do Gunther winning the title off Cody, Brock, Gunther, SummerSlam, title for Korea. But they protected over 7 F5s and getting out the Kimura lock. And then what they did on Raw kind of made you forget that Brock won, but quickly forgotten about it in 24 hours. Just did he win? Yeah, he did, but let's move on kind of thing. And Sol winning the title, cool. But for me, Sol feels like everybody else. The music doesn't. When they change the theme music, when they come up to the main roster, it's like, oh God, why? Why would you change it? But she feels like everybody else on the main roster. This feels a little bit less, more like everybody else. But your thoughts on these two?
Well, with the Sol Ruca and Becky Lynch match, this was good. And I'm actually okay with Sol Ruca's women's Intercontinental Champion. I think she fits the bill perfectly for the women's mid-card on Raw for the women's IC title. I feel like if Def Rebel didn't change her music, I don't think she'd feel like everyone else at this time on the roster. She just got started, so give her some time. But their music didn't need to be changed. They just stuck with this unchanged music. I think it'd be a much different tune with Sol Ruca currently on Raw. The fact that the fact that Def Rebel still has a job blows my mind. They're lucky to still have a job. I don't why were they not on the budget cut list in April, but some of these wrestlers were. I'd love to be a fly on the wall on that one. Because Def Rebel is absolutely god awful. They do not know how to make music whatsoever. Can we not get Jim Johnston back or CFL Money back who actually know what they're doing? Or something, music band like them who actually knows how to make music to give these wrestlers identity. Like with Def Rebel, everyone feels and looks the same. Everything just feels generic, where CFL Money and Jim Johnston, wrestler music stands out. When you hear that music, you know exactly who it is. Like perfect examples I could come up with. Triple H, The Game by Motorhead, Kane, Slow Chemical by Finger Eleven, Undertaker, Rest in Peace by Jim Johnston from 2004, Randy Orton, Voices by Rev Theory. There was a rumor they were going to change Randy's theme song with Def Rebel at Survivor Series 2023, and Randy said, fuck no. And he kept his theme he's had since 2008, Voices by Rev Theory, John Cena, The Time Is Now, etc., 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 RVD, One of a Kind, CFO Money like Samoa Joe, Destroyer, Finn Balor, Catch Your Breath That You Hear Today, AJ Styles, the one from 2016 you hear, Shinsuke Nakamura from NXT, Sami Zayn, Worlds Apart, the one you hear from NXT, Kevin Owens, CFO Money, Street Profits. Like the list goes on and on. Like this Def Rebel, like what they're doing with like the Def Rebel music Def Rebel produces is absolute garbage. And I wish that would change. But Sol Ruca winning, I don't mind. I think it's the right move. And I think Becky Lynch should move to the world title picture at this point, in my opinion. But going to the Brock and Oba match, I'm not mad that Brock won. And you want to know why? Because let's say you have Oba Femi undefeated for a long, long time. Look at Bill Goldberg when he was undefeated in WCW for like a year. And you know how his undefeated streak in WCW ended? A taser. Yes, a taser. Whereas when Goldberg came to WWE in 2003, he was undefeated for like less than 6 months, like 5 months going into SummerSlam 03, where he had that second Elimination Chamber. He lost the Triple H and Triple H retained by using the sledgehammer. It's much different, but at least like, oh, well, Goldberg lost, you killed his momentum, didn't hit the same impact when he wanted the next month at Unforgiven 03. I beg to differ. He was still over and fans still wanted him to be champion, and he won the next month at Unforgiven 03. So it's like, Oba losing, I don't mind here. And he was protected the best way possible, and I don't think you can get any better than that. Him losing to 6 or 7 F5s, one through the announce table, and he got up at like count of 7 or 8, right up like that when he got put through the announce table. And this is definitely not over. They're 1 for 1. And Oba lost nothing here. He's not buried. I don't want to hear, oh, Oba's buried. He's not. He's not. Like, he lost to 6, 7 F5s. He was ultra protected. And also Oba going through a character change in adversity. Like, if you're going to have this man especially beat Roman Reigns for the world title next year at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, you need to have Oba go through some adversity. Like, imagine if they had Oba undefeated all the way into next year's Mania and Roman wins next year. That would be a terrible, terrible look. And I don't think you want that. Where Oba loses here, okay, now he goes through adversity to try and get to the top in a character change. I like that. And I don't mind Brock winning here whatsoever. I don't hate it at all. In fact, this loss to Oba is a W for Oba himself. So now he can evolve and become better than he was before. And I do think he's a future piece of this company for years to come. I absolutely seeing him win the Rumble next year and potentially beating Roman next year for the world title next year in Saudi at WrestleMania. But I think this loss for Oba did more good for Arma than did more good for Oba than harm, in my opinion. So Oba really lost nothing here. And I know people complain, oh, Brock winning in 2026. What the fuck? This does nothing for me. What a terrible decision. I highly disagree with the reasons I just gave.
And your main event featuring Roman Reigns returning against Jacob Fatu as much as I love my tribal chief, that was a slow pace match. A tribal combat, no shocker. The red heard Jacob was going into the match with an injury. Maybe that's why it was so damn slow. Just getting on with that damn match. Just walking around. But yeah, no shocker. Reigns retained. I don't think whether he's facing The Rock or Oba next year, I don't think he loses until next year. So guys, people get ready for a year-long title reign from Reigns, maybe even longer. If he does face The Rock, he's losing at SummerSlam, so even longer, he'll lose at SummerSlam next year. Yeah, decent match. Could have been a lot better. As an overall pay-per-view, I will give it a thumbs up. But yeah, your thoughts on the main event?
I think with Jacob Fatu going in hurt definitely put a damper on it being slow because of Jacob Fatu going into this match hurt. So I think I could see that being the case with this. But I feel with Roman winning, I figured he'd win, but I really wanted Jacob Fatu to win because, give us something fresh and different and give us new blood. I feel like Jacob Fatu would have done that very, very well. And, he's a future piece of the company, but it's like you could have gave him the world title here, even if it was for until SummerSlam or the end of the year and Roman wins it back, so be it. But now Jacob Fatu wins here. Where does he go from here? And then next time I'd rather have him acknowledge Roman Reigns. I'm like, just have him bitch out to Roman and Usos. Like, what the hell? Like, Jacob Fatu is worth so much more than that. He's better on his own. He should be answering to nobody. And I don't know what was the point of even Roman winning here, and Jacob should have won. Like, and now we're getting bloodline rehash, and it's just, yeah, I can't wait for that, said no one ever. Jacob honestly should have won. And I don't know what really the deal is for Roman, I'm sure it's a Netflix thing. They want Roman as champ, but it's like, if we're just going to get bloodline rehash, there's no point. It's a waste of everybody's time. Now, you mentioned Roman Reigns a year title reign. I am actually thinking this. With Seth Rollins, I think he wins King of the Ring and beats Braun Breaker in the King of the Ring finals. I think that's a given. I think we get Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, night 2 main event for the world title, and a match we were supposed to get at this year's Mania, by the way, had Seth Rollins not got injured last October in Perth at Crown Jewel if he didn't do that stupid flying headbutt. Had he not done that, we were going to get Roman and Seth this year at WrestleMania. But looks like we'll get it at SummerSlam this year instead. And I've seen something. I don't know if you heard. I seen on X Seth Rollins in an interview saying, quote, I think it's absolute or complete BS that Roman said he's going to be a fighting champion, yet he's doing what he's doing now. So they could play that into a story. I think that'd be a great story dialogue going into their match at SummerSlam. If that is one of the matches at SummerSlam, they have a banger match. Now, if it was up to me, I'd put the title back on Seth, and he never lost that championship to begin with. He had to vacate it due to a shoulder injury. But I would give it back to Seth. Could I see Roman retain against Seth at SummerSlam? Yes, but this is what I'm doing. Instead of Roman holding a title for a full year, which would do absolutely nothing, and that's something that the company doesn't need right now, is just having emptiness. They need something right now this year. No, we're half a year, but they still need something. In general, they need something. With Money in the Bank coming this September, and LA Knight has been saying, oh, Uzi, the bloodline or whatnot, if you saw Monday on Raw, and LA Knight's still in Bloodline Vortex, and LA Knight claiming he's going to be winning King of the Ring. I don't think he does. I'd love to see it. I doubt it, but there is also Money in the Bank this September. What if LA Knight finally wins Money in the Bank this early September, and he doesn't hold the briefcase long, and after that, he either cashes in successfully on either Roman or Seth. LA Knight's the world champion, even if it's for a few months, at least until the end of the year, beginning of next year, and Roman wins it back at the end of this year or beginning of next year, beating LA Knight, so be it. And then Roman Reigns can still go into Mania next year as champion and drop the title to Oba at next year's Mania in Saudi. You could always do that. Instead of Roman holding a title for a full year, which you're just handcuffing the title and holding the title on Raw hostage, which you don't need whatsoever. That's what I would do. Have LA Knight win the Money in the Bank this September in New Orleans. Have him hold it, the briefcase. You don't even have him hold it for that long. Have him cash in successfully on either Seth or Roman, depending on who the world champion is. LA Knight cashes in. He wins the world title for the first time in WWE, even if he holds it for like at least 2 or 3 months. For like at least 3 months or around that, so be it. He drops it back to Roman at the end of the year, beginning of next year, so be it. At least LA Knight has a world title reign under his resume, so be it. At least it's a lot better than Roman holding the title from Mania this year to Mania next year. It's a lot better than that.
And Gregor in the chat said LA Knight, yeah, so he's a fan of that. You brought up Raw, so let's get to Raw. Roman Reigns coming out and being acknowledged by Jacob Fatu. Fans loved Dave, fans singing to Reigns' theme. Again, before we went live, we were saying about, okay, WWE don't put much effort into their international shows, but they know where to go to get a great reaction and probably make the most money. They probably have made a ton of money in Italy. They're going to make a ton of money in France. They make a ton of money when they come over here. So they know where to go to make the money and get the best reactions. The shows might not be that good, but the crowd is good. Then Obafemi destroyed Solo Sikoa, Penta, and Carmelo Hayes. Like I said, I think they've made people forget he lost to Brock, we very quickly moved on in 24 hours. In-ring interview with Kathy Kelly and Saul Ruker. This was okay. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee over Penta and Rusev. You've now made not Penta over Ethan Page and Rusev. So you now made Ethan Page just feel like everybody else, which I don't really like. I think he's great. I think he was great in NXT, but now again, theme music and all that makes him feel like everybody else. Io Sky won a fatal 4-way, and Seth Rollins put away Braun Breaker. For me, half thumbs up for Raw. What's your opinion on all of this, Nick?
I thought this Raw was a thumbs up, and obviously better than SmackDown. And I do like, and now the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring is now here. I think this is nice. I like I thought this was better than Clash in Italy. Clash in Italy was good, but not much excitement. This Raw I felt was much better, and definitely a solid, good show in my opinion. Outside the opening with the Roman Reigns and the Bloodline stuff was just rehash, and I'm not excited for that at all. I just want the title off Roman, and we can move on from that. But go ahead.
Greg asking, where's the show tonight? SmackDown, it's in Italy again, so expect to imagine a hot crowd again. And then I think they're in France for Raw, back to the US for SmackDown, then in London for Raw and SmackDown, and then off to Saudi they go. So there we go. There's your next few shows coming up, Gregor.
I think SmackDown the week of Night of Champions, June 23rd, I think it is. They're going to be live on Friday Night SmackDown is going to be live on a Tuesday, and that's what I've heard.
I've looked at, and this could change, but I've looked at Netflix. It says pre-tape. They are going to be there in London, but I think it's a pre-taped SmackDown on Netflix. It looks like to be pre-taped. So I don't know. That might change, but
we'll see.
In a way, I hope it doesn't in a way, because that's 2 streams in one day. But whatever, I don't mind doing 2 streams. But doesn't give me much time to do a SmackDown preview, SmackDown watch along, NXT preview, NXT watch along. It doesn't give me very much time, but so I hope it is pre-taped in one way. Getting into NXT, Zarya defeats Lizzie Rain. Of course, Lizzie Rain from the UK. I want her to win here, but I get building Zarya going after the Women's North American Championship. OTM, or as people like to call them, the new crime time, knocked off the culling. I like OTM. Jackson Drake over Tate Wilder, who can't get a win on NXT. Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray promos. Lexus King retained. Dark State put away Miles Bourne and Tavian Heights, and then Tony D'Angelo retained. Half thumbs up for NXT. Also, any thoughts of NXT, Nick?
I thought NXT was decent, and I'm liking what they're doing with these new faces on the show. Lizzie Rain, you got Cam Hendricks, you got Mason Rook, who I'm very high on. I think he's killing it. Nakaru, the former Evil from New Japan. I think they have Nakaru versus Mason Rook next week on NXT in a number one contender NXT match. I'm going to go Mason Rook winning, and I would have him, and I would probably put the title on him, to be honest. I mean, he's this, he has so much momentum, red hot. I would continue it, strike while the iron is hot with Mason Rook, man. And there's rumors of NXT call-ups this summer. I think Tony D is one of them, and I think he's ready for the main roster. He's been on NXT for like 5 years. I think it's well overdue with him on the main roster, and put him on SmackDown and give it, SmackDown could use a nice mid-carder in that U.S. title picture with Tony D'Angelo, in my opinion. But I'm liking what NXT's doing with these new faces like Lizzie Rain, so much charisma. Mason Rook absolutely is like, he's like a hybrid of Keith Lee, Bronson Reed, and Bronson Reed and Gunther. And he's very good for a big man his size. And he's a good presence, good promo, and he can wrestle. So I'm liking what they're doing with Mason Rook, especially down there in NXT. I just wonder if Adam Pearce can control Mason Rook like he can try and control Obafemi, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed on Monday Night Raw. If Mason Rook were to ever get called up to Monday Night Raw.
I think Nakaru or Evil wins next week. I think it's Evil, Nakaru, call him what you like. Tony Angelo at the Great American Bash, I think. But I would love Mason Rock, the former World Cruise, to go on to defeat Nakaru and go on to defeat Tony D, but I don't see it personally. And we'll finish up here with getting into Evolved. I saw 5 matches in 50 minutes on Evolve. Evolve for me is, again, up there with NXT as the show. You have 5 matches in 50 minutes. But Gianna Capri went over Mason Holiday. Holly Riggins put away Romeo Marino. Max Abrahams defeated Cappuccino Jones. I like what they're doing with Max Abrahams. His heel turn, it seems to work. Elijah Holyfield pinned Kai Vare, and Wendy Cho retained against Sloan Jacobs. For me, thumbs up. Like I said, 5 matches in 50 minutes. You can't get better than that. Do you watch Evolve, Nick, or no?
Not really, but I have heard of Elijah Holyfield. I believe he is the son of Lander Holyfield, a legendary boxer.
But for those that don't watch Evolve, go and check it out. Like I said, 50 minutes. They did 5 matches and promoted other ones. They promoted Succession 3. Yeah. And SmackDown has 3 hours and you get 3 matches and 10,000 promos.
And the picture commercials I see a lot of too lately. That's another thing.
Yes. On Netflix, we get. Oh no! Sometimes they carry on with the action, so we just get a clock up in the corner to count it down till they're back on live again. Or sometimes they just go full. It's just like stock filler. Like like this elevator music, and you've got like Reigns, Orton, and that just plays over and over again until SmackDown comes back on. So at least it's something to look at rather than nothing, I guess.
Right.
But where are we? Okay, coming through, and then who are okay? So there's a question for you, Nick. Who are your top 5 wrestlers ever?
My top 5 wrestlers ever. It's a very good question. I would have to put Jeff Hardy for sure. Be Daniel Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him. It would also have to be Batista, The Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mine are The Rock, Rocky Maivia, Dwayne Johnson. Kidding. Definitely The Rock at the top for me. My all-time favorite. Reigns is in there, and then the other 3 probably Hogan. Gotta be Cena, Austin. I would say, or The Rock, Rocky Maivia, Flex Kavana, Dwayne Johnson, and the Final Boss. or that. So yes, guys, Gregor, anybody else wants to go and check out Nick's channel? There it is, right there. The Forbidden Podcast will be episode 28. Have I got that correct? Next week.
Let me check so I'm not misconstrued. 28 next week. 28 next week on Thursday, June 11th. Make sure you tune into that. It'll be me and Adam Carl for that episode next Thursday, June 11th. Most likely one of the topics being the WWE merger lawsuit trial scheduled for June 8th to June 12th next week. So that will for sure be one of the topics. Absolutely. But make sure you tune into that for episode 28 as we're nearing 30 episodes of Forbidden Podcast. So make sure you go check that out.
And Gregor, I don't know if you're on Twitter, X, call it what the hell you like, but if you are, go and follow Nick on Twitter, tweet him maybe, get a shout out, whatever. I'm not on Twitter, just like can't be bothered. Facebook is more than enough for me. But yeah, go and follow him, Gregor. And very quickly, any more questions you want to get in very quickly? We've got seconds here before I need to go do my SmackDown preview and then my SmackDown watch along.
Yep. That's correct. Ricky with the SmackDown watch along, also on Hardcore Sports Network as well. Make sure you check that out today as well. A SmackDown will be in the UK, in Bologna, Italy. That is in Italy, but in Bologna, Italy. But it'll be live in the UK, but taped in the US for tonight 8 p.m. Unless you have a VPN, which you could watch live UK time. Unless you have a VPN.
Or do what I do for watching AEW pay-per-views, TNA pay-per-views, LFG, everything. I watch every greatest moments. WatchWrestling.com. They're live on there. Streams can be quite glitchy sometimes, but for Double or Nothing, I missed most of the first match because it just kept going off, but then it was fine for the rest of the show. So watch it on there, maybe on WatchWrestling.com. But yeah, do you want to very quickly promote again next week's episode and tell people what will be on it? I know the Vince stuff, but what else do you plan on covering?
Well, if there is any other big news, possibly anything maybe bigger. I don't know if anything's bigger. If anything's going to be bigger than the merger lawsuit trial next week. But if anything big happens in the news next week before or after that, absolutely here on the channel on YouTube for any other outside topics that may be bigger than the merger lawsuit, if that's the case. So just in case that may be there. But absolutely Forbidden Podcast episode 28 for June 11th. But yeah, if there's any news outside the trial that's bigger than the merger trial next on June 8th next week. Anything bigger than that, I will let you know and be here on the channel. Maybe whether me solo or with Adam Carl, that might happen if depending on the news week. So we'll see. We'll see.
Something you could cover is Mick Foley wanting his final match in AEW. There you go. That's a news story for you. You could maybe cover, discuss.
Yeah, possibly. Whether it's on the Forbidden Podcast or outside of it, we will see. But I did catch that as well. Not in favor of that, because I know Foley is, 6 years old, can barely walk. And I know MJF's the world champion. Do I have a funny feeling, not in the right way, that MJF's not going to go into Wembley as champion and we get MJF versus Mick Foley at All In? I hope and pray to God that does not happen. This is not 2006 where Foley fought Edge. That was different. That's not going to work now in 2026. I'm sorry.
Yeah, very quickly before we go, my opinion on that is he's 60. If anyone had watched the Ariel Helwani interview, I think he said he wants to do it in 2 years, so he'll be 62. Regardless, now we're in 2 years. He can't move. Legend, but he's old. He can't move. He's actually probably going to involve Darby Allin. He's going to be against Darby Allin. It's going to be something crazy. He's going to do something crazy in his last match, and just no. I think perfect as a host on the pre-show buy-in zero, or call it what you like. Maybe even bring him in as a commentator, but actually wrestling, no.
Yeah, I have zero interest in Foley wrestling in AEW, dude. Zero. Absolutely bring anything else to the table, but not as a in-ring wrestler. You have more than enough wrestlers that, you have an overbloated roster. And another thing, Mick Foley is an ex-WWE guy. You bring him now into AEW, AEW is pretty much a WWE landfill. It's not even funny. If I want to watch WWE, I'll watch WWE Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, and Wednesdays sometimes with Evolve, but I don't need this on Wednesday. All these former and WWE girls and guys on AEW, it feels like WWE 2.0, like I'm watching another WWE. And it's not a good look.
And I believe he just had the former, and not the biggest name in the world, but she called Saraya, something like that in WWE.
Saray.
I saw, but she's having a match with Athena. Okay, she's not The Rock. She's not the biggest name in the world, but she's former WWE. And it's oh, got another one. Oh, God.
Yep.
But yes, guys, go on. Do check out the Forbidden Podcast next Thursday with Nick and Adam Cole. I will possibly be back on, hopefully be back on maybe tomorrow SummerSlam. We can do SummerSlam predictions, as Matt Hardy may say.
Like a round table or something like that.
So yes, do check out very quickly after this, in moments actually, my SmackDown preview, and then I'll be live again here, Hardcore Sports Network, for the SmackDown Watch Along, coming from Italy. Whoopie-doo, I'm looking forward to another 3 hours. But
I know you're so excited for another 3 hour SmackDown, Ricky. I could feel it.
I should, again, I should not be saying that. I should be saying, as I've said this many times, make it 4, make it 5, make it 6, I want SmackDown to never end, make it 24 hours. Not really. That would be ridiculous, but I should be saying, oh, it's another 3 hours. Oh, hell. No, I should be super excited.
Anyways.
But, guys, do like, share, subscribe, all those cool things, all those good things. I will see you guys, like I say, soon for SmackDown. And always remember, it's Ricky J. We're going to bring his bites to the fight.